In the first 100 days of the lockdown, close to 66 school-going children died by suicide in Kerala alone. 1 in 4 teenagers in India suffer from depression and anxiety. NCRB के डेटा के अकॉर्डिंग इंडिया में हर घंटे एक स्टूडेंट सुसाइड अटेम्प्ट करता है. 10,519 students died by suicide in 2018 alone. All of these statistics point to just one thing only, that we as a country need to talk about teenage depression. Something which has long been overlooked in our country because हम mental health के बारे में बात नहीं करना चाहते. You know, experts say that 50% of mental illnesses start by the age of 14 and 75% by the age of 24. Given that more than half of our country's population is under the age of 25, ऊपर से COVID का impact add कर लो, you can only imagine how difficult this situation would be for teenagers right now. And despite all of this, we tend to see teenagers as a generation who's always glued to their phones. 24 घंटे social media पर रहते हैं, instant social validation चाहिए, etc, etc, etc. But what we tend to forget is that teenage years in itself are a very difficult phase where your body is going through hundreds of changes with so many thoughts racing in your mind. बहुत ज़्यादा confusion और chaos हो जाता है life में.
If a teenager is going through a rough patch, then they do give out clear signals to their parents. There is a marked change in their behavior. If the parents don't take that change with the graveness that it is required, with the seriousness that it is required, then obviously, like any other illness, it will spiral out of control.
Meet Ambuj. He got diagnosed with ADHD at the age of 4. He even had suicidal thoughts. और हर बार trigger क्या था? पढ़ाई का pressure.
From the very first class, the teachers are saying, "Abhi boards hai, and all of you are going to fail, and none of you are good enough. Now focus on every word in every class. The world will come crashing down on you." Eventually, of course, none of that matters as an adult.
And it's not just exams and marks that teenagers worry about.
I would say even sex education is not apart from mental health. A large reason why mental health problems stem in teenagers is because they're at the end of puberty. Their hormones are raging and they need to understand what is happening to them, why they feel attracted to other people of the same gender or people of different genders. They do not know how to interact with the opposite sex. They do not know how to set boundaries, how much communication is required in sex, because how they learn about sex is through porn, which Jamila Jamil very rightly said is like learning how to drive from watching Fast and Furious.
It's kind of understandable also because teenage years में your body is going through so many changes. Your hormones are raging, sexual attraction भी बहुत होता है, and that's why dating coupled with FOMO-induced productivity guilt, जैसे not watching enough, not reading enough, not being updated with everything on Instagram, etc., can actually throw a teenager's mental health out of the park. And that's why a lot of young psychologists are now creating quirky videos and content on social media to help other young people cope up with their mental health issues.
I always thought I'll create awareness once I have my license, and I never really realized that I could just do that right now because I've completed my master's. And then I started doing it and I realized it's actually making a difference in people's lives. Like, I started making videos on TikTok and then switched to Reels, and people would message me and say that they're learning a lot, and I was like that would give me motivation to do it more.
This is Divija, a budding therapist and a content creator who's talking about mental health in her own way.
So I use the trends that are going around on Reels and I just twist them in my own way. And it works because young people are into those trends already. And since I'm kind of young, I'm 23, I am able to understand what they would like. I make it relatable as well. So related to school and like any random situations that happen in our day-to-day life. And people watch them and they don't realize they're learning. And that's what my aim is.
और teenage years में अपने parents को समझाना कि क्या हो रहा है तुम्हारे साथ बहुत tricky होता है.
You'll go to them and you'll tell them that I am not feeling like this. Like, be direct in the way you're saying it. Children often don't know how to say it. So I think a nice exercise they can do is write it down and write down the things that they're experiencing. So they have it written down like facts that, yeah, I have not been sleeping well, I have not been eating well. Parents will be able to see that there is an actual thing, because you can't just go to your parents and say, I have depression, because you don't even know if you have depression, right? Parents will just be like, aapko kaise pata? Like, how do you know that you have depression? So that is one like direct way of doing it. And also I think showing YouTube videos on mental health, I think this is a good way to approach the conversation as well, because it shows the parents that there's a lot of people who go through this and it's okay to seek help.
Yeah, this actually might just be a good way to start approaching your parents and tell them about what you're facing. I know stress level बहुत high है सभी का. Job, career, finances, relationships, uncertainty हर जगह है. But the only way we can all get out of this is by realizing that we're not alone in this, and that by talking to friends, parents or siblings, or even calling on the helpline numbers can and will help. And I think parents also need to be more receptive when their children talk to them about the issues they're facing. खुल के बात करो अपने बच्चों से friendship के बारे में, relationships के बारे में, उनके life goals set करने में help करो. Help them in facing the world, the stress and the emotional turmoil which comes with it. Don't shy away from seeking professional help if they need it. Because if we don't address the problem of teenage depression, then it might just spiral out of control and hugely affect their adult life. Yes, I'm thinking aloud, but what do you think? Tell me in the comments below. And for more such videos, keep watching India Times.